Mm, Hello, it's me again here on the Monday. This is, as I try to explain every time without sounding a bit stupid, the tea with Tome. Little break on your nice Monday, if it is still Monday in your part of the world. Essentially, all this is a brief slot of about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so, where we will talk about the game a little bit. And if you have any questions, need any advice for playing the game, a particular vehicle giving you trouble, I will do my best to try and assist. I have an embarrassingly high playtime in this game. I have gone out of my way really to play pretty much everything. So most of the time, I can probably give you a pretty decent answer on how something works. Or at least I'll try my best anyway. So that's what this sort of brief period of your Monday is about, if you choose to spend most of it here. As promised in the title, I've got myself a little cup of cha here. Oh, no, cha's coffee, isn't it? Well, cup of tea, rather. Um, the best tea I can get in Germany. Not exactly the best tea in the world, but I mean, it comes from Amazon, so I trust it, as you should. Um, yes, effectively, this is what this is, and I can answer, or at least try to answer anything that you can put my way for the next hour and a half. Um, I can't obviously tell you anything upcoming. I don't really know most of it yet, so I mean, you can certainly ask, but I can't really answer. Um, so yeah, if you have a question about the game, anything giving you trouble, anything you would like to get a bit better at, anything, I can do my best to give it a go. Or if you sort of want to know anything outside of War Thunder, real life maybe, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Um, that's what this is for. Have a bit of a chat for a little bit of time, and we'll see where it goes. Then what? Um, I will see. What do we have? Has someone guessed my playtime? No, not yet. Not at all, I'm afraid. Um, Quite far off still. I don't think anyone's even got really close yet. I need to actually double check. I pretty much I know how much it is. The internal tools track more than the public ones, and you can get a really good, like to the literal second time of what you've been playing in the game. So it's pretty spot on. And I will see. Right. Ender King 2 says, why should you play the Panzer IV-J when you have the H? It's sort of like a lineup buffer, really. There's not really a huge amount of point playing that vehicle. I mean, it's, it's sort of objectively worse than the H and supplementarily worse, that's not even a word, is it, than the G. I mean, the turret rotation speed trumps the additional protection in the front armor. So I'm kind of with you there. There's not really much point in playing it if you have the others, unless you want more Panzer IV analogs to play in the lineup. I mean, if you played at long range, that's the best sort of area to make it work. But overall, you don't really need to play it. I think the G is what I would use anyway. So yeah, I can kind of agree with you there. Maybe its BR will be reduced one day. Not sure. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I agree. How to play rank 1 to 2 CAS effectively with USSR? Well, it sort of depends on what you're using. They're all very, very different, and all play incredibly different as well. So I'm not sure that's something I can very, very quickly generalize for you. What are there any vehicles in particular you're having trouble using, or are you asking for like a suggestion on which to use? I will need a bit more information from you there. Which tank do you like playing the least? Man, that's pretty tricky. I mean, I like playing stuff that's not sort of conventionally good. I like the kind of bad stuff. Not really bad, I guess. Just more challenging would be the pretentious but honest way to put it. I don't know. I'll have to think about that a bit more. So I get something out of playing anything. Like if I'm playing a bad vehicle and I'm doing well in it, then I'm kind of enjoying it. Like in the same way that, say, getting one kill in a bad vehicle will probably feel as good as getting like 10 kills in a good vehicle kind of thing. So I don't really hate playing anything like that. Maybe something really kind of limited like the Sturm S maybe. I'll probably go with that. Chaika, for example. Yes, Chaika is an incredible CAS aircraft for the lower tiers. It's in terms of anti-ground and anti-air, it's really, really good in that particular environment. It can outturn basically anything if you can manage your speed. And the RBS rockets are what I use. Those are the 82mm APHE rockets. They are the most kind of user friendly in my experience, a bit better than the HE rockets, although they obviously hull break, well, overpressure now, I guess. But I prefer the APHE ones. A good thing to practice with those is if you can take them into the test flight. There's a static Panzer III in the test flight, and with that you can kind of practice on how to aim the rockets, and that's what I'd probably go for. With rockets like that, you're going to want to aim by the wing, so don't point your aircraft directly at the tank. You need to aim one wing, basically. Only one rocket really needs to hit. If one of those gets through, it's like I think of it as like an 85mm APHE round going into the side of a Panzer III. You know, it's hardly going to survive very much. So that's a good way to go, especially for rockets, is aim by the wing, unless you're aiming to hull break, in which case you can generally aim in the middle. But if it's just for APHE rockets, that kind of thing, if you line the wing up with the rocket trajectory, that's probably the way to go. And that's what I'd probably do with the Chiker as well. Try and come in level as you can, flat with the armor. Try and avoid the angles, as that's sort of bit tricky with the rockets, but you certainly do have the maneuverability to engage on those trajectories anyway, so that's probably what I'd go with for the Chiker. But very good choice, by the way. That's a really, really good plane. I'm a big fan of that. I'll have some tea now, as it's my first cup of the day. The milk's not very good. We had milk in the office that's about, I think, 6 months out of date, something like that. Not a good time. But this is, I believe, the right milk, although I can't really tell. So maybe something devastating will happen in about an hour's time. We'll have to wait and see. Did I miss something, or are you Oxy? I could be. I am, basically, yes. Hello, that's me. Yep. There's not really much else I can add to that, but that is indeed who I am. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. I'm not really very good at that. I don't like introducing myself. It seems strange. Yes, I'm Oxy. I was a content creator and very much still am. I now work over in the German office for Gaijin, doing multiple things for them. I do have a YouTube. You can find it if you want. There's very long guides on tanks on there. They're like mostly like an hour to 2 hours long. So I've been told they're very good for falling asleep too. So that's something, I suppose. Yep, you can find those if you want. But do you prefer being called Tome or Oxy? I don't really like being called either. I don't know why this is, but ever since I was like a child, I didn't like people sort of using my name or anything. I didn't like being referred to. So if someone was just like, hello, that'd be brilliant. If someone said my name, it's a bit, oh, I don't know. I don't like being acknowledged as a person. That probably sounds really bizarre, but I've always been like that. I'm not sure what I could choose. Don't know. Either's probably fine. I'm not super invested in the whole thing. The first thing you heard was 6-month-old milk. Yeah, effectively, this might be the milk in this tea. All of the cups, the yellow cup, the blue cup, and the green cup, all go like this. It's a nightmare. There's no cup that works apart from the orange ones, and they're all in the dishwasher. Nightmare. Awful. Absolutely terrible. Which tree do you plan on making a guide for next? America. I have pretty much all the footage done. I just need to finish the script and record it. I don't know how long that's going to take. Hopefully not too long now, but I will certainly aim to get it done soon. Give it a go anyway. Do you want to be in? Nope, not reading that one. What is the best way to grind jets with or without ground ordnance? Do you mean getting the RP to unlock them or playing them from stock? What do you mean? Why is the Leopard 7.3 and the OF 40.7.7? I think the Leopard is easier to misplay for people. The OF40 is a bit more forgiving in its frontal armor, at least. It's much less vulnerable to autocannons. And it's pretty strong against the sort of supplementary APHE you'll be meeting as well. The Russian 100mm do struggle with it a little bit. And so I think it's more survivable in that sense. Not to the point where, you know, you're going to shrug off Sabo or APHE, or excuse me, Heat, not APHE. I think that's probably the reason why, and I mean, it's a little sort of slower reactively. I think the turret turns a bit slower, especially the first OF40. But it has the laser rangefinder and pretty good optics as well. I'd probably say that's why. Obviously, I don't know, but that's my reasoning anyway. It is easier to use if you don't really know what you're doing with either vehicle, I'd say. Good day, Obi-Wan. I hope you're doing well. I can't really think of a quick Star Wars pun off the cuff, but I mean, I would give one if I could. Um, favorite naval tree. I quite like America. I think destroyers are sort of where I have the most fun in naval, and they certainly have incredible destroyers, to say it lightly. So that's mostly where I'd go. I'm not sure. I've spaded every naval vessel apart from some of the new dreadnoughts. I think I haven't really had time to play those. I like that sort of area of the game. Believe it or not, I actually quite enjoy it. It's quite relaxing. I'll probably go with America. Um, Battle Bear Gaming, it's certainly a possibility. I am in charge of making those right now, so maybe we can figure out something quite well user friendly to War Thunder that could work in the same system. It's certainly not an impossibility. Why are you drinking tea instead of vodka? How do you know? There could be some vodka in this, although there isn't. Maybe there is. I don't know. I can't really remember. No, just tea, I'm afraid. Sad. Um, how to play the Q5 early? Well, it's. I want to say something memey here, but I probably can't. It's not a vehicle that's incredibly easy to use as a fighter or sort of as a ground attacker either. It's not in the best place right now. It's very sluggish as a jet, and I mean, I haven't used it very much, but from what I have used of it, it's not exactly the most user friendly thing in the world. I'm not even sure what I'd suggest for that. I mean, you need to sort of play it very conservatively to get anything good out of it. On one-on-ones, it's very hard unless you really know what you're doing. Um, I mean, right now, from my perspective, I probably wouldn't play it unless I'm playing it as a sort of CAS alternative. Sorry, I can't give you a better answer on that. Jets are probably the one thing that I'm not really. I could probably give you an answer on them, but I wouldn't feel super confident doing it because I haven't played them for the amount of time I've played everything else. So, yeah, I mean, I can try, but I probably can't give you an incredible answer on that front, I'm afraid. Copsy, here he is. Yes, ask him. Ask this man's. He knows. He knows. What is your opinion on the Lag 366? Pretty good. I like the Lags. They are, well, not the best, but they're a decent hybrid, and the 20 mil, even though it's a Schwack, is pretty punchy at the tier. I'm a pretty big fan. I've used the Lags a lot, especially when I started because it was like low tier with a 20 mil. It's like wow, that's pretty cool, you know. So I played those a fair bit. I really like the Lags. It's a bit of a weird BR because of course it can be up to fight vehicles that are way stronger than it, but it's a decent hybrid for what it is. I mean, especially in down tiers, it can work pretty well. But there are other analogs at the tier that can probably do work a bit better. But if you know when to use maneuverability and you know when to conserve your energy, it can be like a really nice hybrid. I've always liked the Lags. They're very pretty planes. Hmm. Will there be new LDERP? I hate the word derp so much. Vehicles in the Soviet or German tech tree like the Hummel? I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if there were. I think the developers are always keen on adding vehicles that offer a sort of different playstyle. So that kind of thing is definitely not off the cards forever. I don't know though. Nothing. Anything that I can give on upcoming content is very much a sort of an opinion in the absence of evidence. I don't know really what the answer is, but I can tell you what I think. But that's not necessarily a concrete answer, and really shouldn't be taken as one because I can't really give you that kind of information as of now. I'm not even sure what that sentence says though. Look at these mans. You should put something Spanish in the game. That'd be cool. I mean, especially the Spanish 111s. Those are really, really nice aircraft. I love those. I'd like to see that at some point as a premium or maybe as a sort of, I don't know, supplement to a tree. That'd be cool. I don't really know much about Spanish vehicles in general, but their modifications are always very nice. So I would be a fan of seeing that as well. Oh, happy birthday, Lucas, if I'm reading that right. I hope you have a nice day. I won't ask how old you are because that'll be a bit sinister, but I mean, just hope you're having a good time. That's all I can hope for. Are you alone in your studio? In the studio, this room, yeah. I do have another colleague in the main office, but it's just me and him today. No one else in this sort of area here. It is just me, which is all right sometimes. Um, do we gonna see more Czech vehicles? Maybe. I don't know. It would be cool. Um, do you like the F4F? Visually, it's very nice. Functionally, not really. It's it's sort of a lot of its faults are not exactly linked to the vehicle itself. I mean, some definitely are, but I mean, when it was sort of being unlocked by most people, the teams were sort of flooded by them, and generally flooded by people who didn't really know how to play it and was not spaded. So the initial user experience was not very good. Um, so I think it'll probably get better down the line when the teams aren't just made up of the single playstyle. I like it as a vehicle, as like a sort of visually, but functionally not so much, I would say. What are the chances to kill a plane with an artillery strike? Because I managed to beat the odds. Very unlikely. I think I've done it twice in my all my time playing. It's like you can't really prepare for it, I guess, but yeah, it's pretty unlikely, even if an aircraft is flying quite low. I'm not sure where the artillery rounds spawn actually. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Will there be more Twitch Prime drops for War Thunder? Maybe. I have no idea. Probably down the line. I mean, certainly not an impossibility, but I can't really say anything on that front. What is this stream about? Essentially, it's a bit like a tea break for your day. Nothing sort of super exciting, honestly. I mean, it's just going to be me sitting here for a bit, answering some questions, talking about the game or other things, whatever you want to talk about, really. If you have a question, I can do my best at answering it. Just for a couple of hours, a sort of break, I suppose, in your day. Yeah, this isn't really promised to be the most high octane section of your life, but I mean, it's something. If you have nothing else going on and you want to have a bit of sound in the background, here I am, doing my best to say words for a while. Is it possible to spawn in a ship in ground obby? No. I mean, you can sometimes, if you kind of juke the matchmaker with like switching your lineups, you can get your naval lineup into ground obby, but you can't spawn it. There's no set spawn points for them, so it does not work. I'm afraid on that front. Worst vehicle in game? Hmm. I don't really know. You'd probably be looking at a vehicle that has very little usability, even in the right circumstances. And it would be depending on. It might just be like a boring answer. Would probably be the Type 60 ATM. It's probably what everyone would go to, but I mean, it has very limited sort of areas of the map where it can work effectively, and it only has 6 missiles, so you can't exactly do a huge amount of work with it in the long run. Like something like the Sturm is like, I guess, at a BR where it functions a bit worse, but at least you can kind of, if you position yourself incredibly well, you can get some good results. You'd probably be looking at something like that with a very, very limited potential. Something like that, maybe one of the French reserves, like the removed reserves, Hargo, something like that, for example. But even then, with a vehicle like that, you can just get sort of the luck of who you fight, and end up playing loads of open top stuff and just spray them down. So it's it's difficult. It's a difficult question. Probably the Type 60. I'm not sure. Swordfish? I don't know. I quite like the swordfish. You can definitely do some cool stuff with it. Although it's not exactly the best in terms of potential, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. I like playing the underdog vehicles like that. Thoughts on the FCM 36? Lee Epic Funny Mame. No, I mean it's I don't know, I like it visually, but functionally not exactly amazing. I mean the armor does help in some instances. There are some things that really can't get through it, but it's sort of more tedious to play in the long run. So yeah, I like it, but I mean there's not a lot it can do, and it's sort of outclassed by a lot of other vehicles and other options at the tier. So looking at it objectively as a sort of a machine to use to win, I mean, not very good. But if it's something to kind of play around with, then sure, it's It's pretty good. With the new HE update, do you think tanks like the Su-122, Brumbar, Chi-Halong, Shotgun deserve a BR up tier? It depends on how they're performing. I think some of them probably will, as a lot of their BRs were sort of, well, I think probably the Chi Shotgun especially was limited by its inconsistent performance of the HE round. It's a bit better now. So maybe we'll see that coming up in the future. The Brumbar, I mean, I don't think its performance will change hugely. I mean, at least from my experience, anything I hit with the HE died anyway. So that's probably going to remain the same. Maybe for the 122 as well, because that was a bit tricky, and yeah, so maybe that thing will go up. Because right now it is at the same BR as the ZIS 30, which is, I guess, as a vehicle, almost objectively better. It offers very little. Well, the 122 offers very little over the ZIS. So maybe it'll be up to it. I'm not sure. It is certainly a possibility. I'm not even sure what that means. After the announcement of the Toldi 2, do you see any chance of getting a few more Hungarian vehicle? Yeah, I mean, probably. I think, from what I understand, they will be probably added to the Italian secretary. If what I remember is probably the case, when right now Italy gets the Romanian and Hungarian vehicles. So I've no idea, but it'll be nice to see. Maybe we'll see something like they'll get a line in the tech tree of them, or maybe they'll just be premium. I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to see sort of how they end up going in the future. Very, very nice. How can I use late Soviet heavies when some vehicles can cut straight through it? What vehicles in particular? Are you talking like the IS-2s or IS-3s, T10? Like, what are you specifically after there? Should I buy the T72 terms? Probably not. I mean, if you have experience with high tier, maybe consider it. But if you definitely don't, I would not buy into that higher BR. It's a vehicle that's very easy to misplay, especially if you're not really used to top tier. You need the reaction times and the map knowledge, and you know where to shoot or hit your enemies. Obviously, that counts for every map and every game mode. But I mean, especially for top tier, as it's very, very easy for an enemy to take you out. So if you don't have the experience in top tier, I wouldn't buy into it straight away, and it's a really bad idea. The terms is in terms of a product. The objective, probably the best product you can buy because it has the highest potential for earnings. So it is, you know, for the use of your money, you will get the most out of it. But it's probably not going to be the most fun experience if you're not used to how it plays and you're not used to how it sort of works, I guess, in top tier. So I wouldn't buy it straight away. I would buy some lower tier premiums, work your way up the tree, and when you think you're confident, you know the maps, you know roughly how the game works, you get the core mechanics, then maybe consider it. But I would never buy into top tier straight away. It's you're not gonna have a great time, unless you are really, really good at video games. But I mean, maybe you are. I don't know. But always be careful with that kind of thing, I'd say. For a few seconds, I picked up the top of my thermos thinking it was the mouse. I'm like, what's going on? Why is this not working? Terrible. Absolute tiny brain. I'll pour a bit more tea. Usually I do these until my tea is empty, so I'm sort of cutting through it a bit quicker today. So maybe we'll have a short one. I'm not sure. Ooh, right. Jojo, opinions on the Chinese tech tree. I like it. I don't really have any problem with the vehicles being close copies of vehicles in other trees. I think it's actually a really good starter nation because, I think it's generally reductive to generalize tech trees, like in the German tech tree is full of tanks with good guns, good armor, and that are slow, or the Russian tech tree is based on tanks that have poor penetration but good damage. British tanks, bleh. I think that's a reductive way to look at the game. I don't really like generalizing like that. But the Chinese tech tree has the advantage of having a lot of vehicles from lots of different nations, and on that basis, there are lots of play styles. not that one nation, like one Russian vehicle in the Chinese tree, is indicative of every Russian vehicle in the actual Russian tree, but to the extent where you can play the Chinese tree, and if you can single out like a group of like one or two vehicles that you really like you look at it and you say like, this is it, this gels with my playstyle, then you can work out from that where to play the rest of the game, like what other tree to go down. Like if you you're playing through and you can identify a particular vehicle or lineup or whatever. It offers so many different particular play styles in the air as well. Like I've got energy fighters, turn fighters, hybrids, and if you can single out what you really like, because it offers so many in the same sort of grouping of BRs, it's a really good introductory nation, I think. I mean, people like to have a bit of a whine about it because, like, as a copy and paste vehicles, but functionally as a game element for what it does to the user experience, I think it's really good. It's a really good starter nation, and on the basis, I like it for that, and I'm glad it's here for that. So yeah, I think that's probably my opinion on it. I quite like it. I think my main thing, my biggest problem with the Chinese tree, is that they have they don't really have very many unlockable camos or decals to make the vehicles like stand out as their own unique thing. I don't really know. I imagine China probably didn't have that many camouflages and unit decals and stuff, but that's what I think the tree would really need from me to make it more interesting. Because I mean, if you see the T-34, it looks identical to the Russian one, so having some camos to make it look a bit different, would be pretty nice. I would like to see it have a bit more in terms of that, but yeah, I think I don't mind China. The tree itself, I'm pretty big fan. Yeah, that is my issue with the Chinese tree. I mean, it depends how you look at it. If you look at it from like offering a unique experience in terms of every vehicle, then sure, it's going to disappoint you. But luckily, there are thousands of other vehicles in the game you can play. No one's forcing you to play China. It's just there if you want to go through it. You don't have to at all. But for a sort of a new user experience, I think it's quite useful. Yeah, you can see the slight smirk. I'm playing Chief always. No, I like it. I think for what it does for the game, it's good. I like it. How do you play the Churchill one in overtiers? Probably don't. I mean, you can certainly play it in up tiers. It's not going to do incredibly well in them, but I think most of the time it's obviously like I don't want to tell you how to play the game. I don't like doing that. I mean, you should approach the game in the way you want and the way you have the most fun. But the Churchill is chiefly heavy tanks are mostly lineup vehicles in that sense. And if you play the game with the intention of you only want to play one single vehicle, it's a bad way to play because some vehicles do not work on certain up tiers. They don't work on certain maps. So if you just take out one vehicle and you want to play that one vehicle in every single match, you will eventually, you'll be forcing yourself into a situation where you are at a natural disadvantage, and that's never a kind of good way to play the game. I think lineups are really important. So the best way to play it in up tiers is to not play it in up tiers and create a lineup. Put in something else like the Cromwell, the early Cromwell, Archer, Epic, Lamau, and the new Sark cars. Can't remember what they're called. I remember the old name, but they renamed them. That 3.3 is really good for up tiers. The very mobile, the 57mm gun with a really fast reload, that works way better than the Churchill. So that's probably going to be my answer. I would just mainly play it when it's in its element, and I wouldn't play it otherwise, unless you really want to. Yeah. Ralph says, "Will I graduate? If you work hard, I would say. I know nothing about you. I know nothing about your work ethic. I don't know what you're studying, but I mean, it's certainly not an impossibility. With the limited information I have right now, that's all I can really say. But I mean, you can do it, I believe." How can I check when I first joined to the game? There's a player search function on the Gaijin, the War Thunder website, and you can search yourself on there, and it should tell you your registration date if I remember. I can't actually recall, but it should be on there. How to open a door? That largely depends on the door. I mean, if it's stuck, then, door stuck. Please. I beg you. All depends. All depends on the door. All depends on the situation. All depends on who you're with. Got to go do my homework. Sad face, bye. Do your homework, I believe. Try a bit harder today. And this is what I always said, When I was doing my homework, it was always like a task, It wasn't like anything to important. But like, one day, like decide one day to kind of put in double the effort for it. Because in like a few years you'll look back and you'll think, I'm actually kind of glad that I did that. Because right now, when I was sort of, busy playing Spore and not like doing my geography homework, I'm looking back on that and it's like, well, that's a sort of permanent mark. I could have done something more with that sort of bit of geography there. Or I could have just, blown up planets for a bit. And that's so fleeting that I can't even remember the session I had with it. But I remember not working hard on the geography. Like, and I know that's something I could have done. So work a bit harder today. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. I'm not your mum or your dad or whatever. But do a bit harder. Work a bit harder. That's a nice way to look at things, I think. Always, sometimes, just decide for yourself. That's, good way to go, I think. Hello, Samuel. I hope you're doing well. Yep. Thank you, Shiro, for that lovely comment. That's brilliant. Not sure what that means. Yep, that's certainly a quote. Thank you for solidifying that. Yep. Opinion on the Spitfire Mark 9, the regular one. I really like it. The Mark 9, like the F Mark 9, the LF Mark 9, they're really great planes. If you're sort of in the right environment to utilize them, they can be incredibly effective. And they're well worth using. There are some instances where there's little they can do. If you're fighting an enemy with, who knows what they're doing, especially Germans, you can be put in a situation where you can't do a lot to counter. But overall, I really like them. Great plane. Thanks for advice. I'm going to go study big math exam. You can do it. I got a C in maths, and I did terribly, I think. I was absolutely rubbish at it. I wasn't having the best time when I was going through my maths, but I got there in the end. A little bit of work, bit of extra work. I sort of passed. So and now I'm actually not bad at maths. I've got a bit better at it in my I hasten to say old age, because I'm not really that old, but in my older age. So you can definitely do it, I believe. I absolutely believe. Is the Sherman Firefly worth getting for the British tech tree? I need 9k more should I buy it once I'm done? I would say so, yes. It's, again, not a vehicle that's very, very easy to use. The gun is very unstable on the move. It's very limited in where it can play when compared to the regular Shermans because of their short stabilizer and APHE. You need to be a bit more defensive with it, but it's well worth using for that. And it works in up tiers too. I mean, the 17-pounder with the shot Mark 8, really, really good. I'd say it's worth going for. But you need to know when to be passive with it because it's not a vehicle that works very well aggressively unless you're really, really confident in what you're doing. It, again, works well when you're supplementing it in the lineup, but it's overall a great vehicle. I really like it. Do you think female War Thunder player existed? Yes. Okay. What does this say? I missed the mess. I keep picking up this, thinking it's my mouse. I'm putting it over here now. Terrible. Here's the mouse. I missed the message. What was it? I can't see. My eyes give up after a while. Devblog when? Soon. With lots of O's. If you can guess how many O's, I'll tell you when. I won't. Maybe I will. I don't know. When next Mao's event? I mean, it was released at War Thunder's birthday last year, so probably War Thunder's birthday this year, I would say. Not really much else I can add to that. I don't really know. what country is the best for naval? Because I'm thinking that Italy is OP, but there's a lot. Italy's probably the worst for blue water. It has some nice coastal ships, but it's pretty weak overall. I'd probably go USA. USA has quite weak coastal ships, but fantastic destroyers. And destroyer gameplay is it's where it's at right now, in my opinion. So I'd probably go with US if you're going blue water. But yeah, don't go to Italy for blue water. They're pretty poor right now, I'd say, overall. Have you seen the Challenger 3? Yes, I have. Looks pretty snaz, although I don't really know much about it. How do I get over a breakup? Well, there's so much to that. I mean, I think to give you a good answer, I would need to know a bit more about, how what's sort of going on with you right now. But I don't really want to ask that on this sort of in this environment. I don't know if that's particularly fair. I mean, if you want to share something, go for it. I mean, I can try and help, but I think with a vague in a vague situation like that, I mean, I always say this in terms of the game and with I guess real life in general. It's never a great idea to give a black and white answer to something. There's always grey. There's always grey in the middle. And I mean, I can try and give you some blanket advice, but I mean, if you've got any details, if you want to share that, go for it. If not, no worries. Absolutely, completely fine. Notice me, Stingray Gaming. I have noticed you. Hello. I hope you're doing well. When is War Thunder birthday? It's what is it? November? Early November? I can't actually remember. It's around then. 5th, maybe? I'm actually not sure. I don't know if I could guess. I'll probably get it wrong. I'm not even sure what that says. Maybe I can't read. What is the best way to grind RP? I really need it for tier 3 ranks, tanks and aircraft. Mostly it's to play a lineup that you enjoy. That's always been my answer. I mean, it's like when I was saying about the terms. It's a vehicle that, I mean, if you know what you're doing, great. But if you don't, if you're just playing the game based on its ability as a product, and you don't really enjoy it, then sure, you're going to make progress, but you're not going to enjoy your time. And if you're treating the game like a job, then you lose. I really think that you lose this game when you treat it like a job. And so if you play just to progress like that, it's not going to be good for your mindset. You're probably not going to enjoy the game as much. So ultimately, I would really consider just finding a vehicle you enjoy, premium, non-premium, put a talisman on it, find a lineup for tanks you enjoy with some cool aircraft, cool tanks, something that really works for you, and that's the best way to go. Because if you can make good progress while playing something you enjoy, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant, and that's what I really focus on. That's what I'd really go for. I mean, you can find an area like that in the game for pretty much every nation, I think. And that's where it's at. I think don't buy buy a vehicle like a premium just because it's a great product if you don't think you'll enjoy it. It's always about what you enjoy, and that's probably where I'd go, honestly. That's usually my answer for the whole thing anyway. Hello, Equal Anderson. I hope you're having a balanced day. You can clap now. Wait, is it actually spelled Tome? No, I just spell my name like that because I've never known why. Ever since I was a child, I never liked people saying my name, so I add an E on the end, so it stops being my name, but it's still close enough for where you can kind of know it's me. So I just put Tome. Plus, I was called Tome in school. I don't know where that came from, but I mean, people just started calling me that. I can't even remember where it came from. It was sort of like when I was a teenager. I can't remember when it started. It became Tome. I think someone just started calling me that by accident, and then everyone did. Don't know. Hi from Brazil. Hi from not Brazil. Do you have your own YouTube channel? I do. If you type in OXY on YouTube, I come up. I make very long guides on tank tech trees right now. They're very long. maybe quite boring, but if you like knowing how some things work, have a look. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is. You can you can have a watch if you like. You don't need to. But yes, I do have a YouTube. Have you ordered new glasses yet? Yes, I did. I ordered them yesterday. They should arrive Wednesday. That's my new day of the week, Wednesday. In between Tuesday and Wednesday. Sometimes in between Monday and Wednesday as well. I like to break the rules a lot, as you can tell by my renegade personality. Does Germany really suffer? Not really. I mean, it's in the same vein as like, lazy memes like Russian bias. I mean, doesn't really. Germany do just fine in certain areas. Their vehicles are quite easy to misplay. So I think newer players may have that perspective and that opinion, but overall, I mean, not really from my perspective. What is this stream for? Nothing in terms of like trying to achieve a grandiose goal. It's literally just sort of me here for a bit. I've spent too much time playing this game. I can probably help you with some aspects of it. And I mean, if you have a bit of, break time in your Monday, whether it's, lunch break at school or break at work or whatever, and you just want somewhere to exist for a bit, then you can exist here. And we can have a chat about War Thunder, about other things. I don't really mind. If there's a question I can try and answer, then I can try and answer. And that's really what this is for. How much do you play War Thunder? I can't really tell you anymore because we have a bit of an ongoing game that if you can guess my playtime, I'll give you 50,000 golden eagles. No one can guess it. I mean, they probably can. But it's a very big number. And a number I seldom like to think about. There's a word for you. Yeah, a very long time. Up until probably like last year, I'd played and spaded every single vehicle in the game. I unlocked every aircraft camo. I unlocked every tank camo below, I think, about 7 OBR. I like to go out of my way to try and play and kind of understand everything. Like, obviously, I can't understand everything in this game, but I mean, I like to try to, so that I could get to a point where someone could ask me about, like, hey, how do I play this? And I could give them an answer that I felt confident was good. And so I do try and play everything. And I have tried to play everything and still kind of play everything. Probably spaded about, because I mean, some things I got through the content partner program already spaded, and I used GE to spade some things, but probably about 97% of the vehicles in the game I'd entirely spaded up until that point. So yeah, I have a lot of experience. No one's got it so far. Keep trying to have a guess. Talking about YouTube, do you already know when you're going to release the video? Soon-ish. I have a lot of the assets ready. I've got all the footage done. I just need to record the script and finalize it. I tried doing a bit on the over the weekend, but I wasn't sort of in the best kind of the best mindset to do it in, I suppose. So I didn't make as much progress as I wanted to. But whenever I can, I'm working on it, and hopefully it'll be done sooner rather than later. Yeah. I don't know when exactly, but I will aim for it to not be too long. Not too long. Exo6. First time here, just started about a week ago. I have one question. Is there any right/common way to set up crew layouts so you have tanks, planes, premiums in the right spot, not spin each other's way? Not really. I mean, all you really need to know is that you can't move them. So once you sort of say, okay, this is where I want to put my tank, this is where I want to put my plane, or tanks or planes, you can't really change those. You can't redistribute the points. So really just set it up in a way that feels like ergonomic to you. I have usually my tanks to the left and planes to the right. And I just do it that way. You want to play ships as well, I'd probably swap out the tank slots with the ship slots because you can't really play them together. And you can play aircraft with both, so you don't want to replace your aircraft slots. Just have it in a way that suits you, really. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what feels more natural, what feels more like comfortable. Go with it from there. That's really what I go with. There's no right or wrong answer, effectively. It's just whatever feels good for you is what I can really say there. Is the British tech tree considered as one of the major nations? I think really the designation of a major nation is sort of community-wise. I don't think there's any I mean, you can say objectively that like the Russian tech tree, for example, is bigger than the Japanese tech tree, but there's no like set in stone, you know, way of describing what nation is major and what is minor. It's just sort of by the amount of content and where the arbitrary boundary is put from those 2 points. I don't really know. It depends on what you think, really. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't really know if there's a set way to look at it like that. It's game time to the hour, to the exact hour. Thoughts on Australian vehicles? Pretty cool. They had a lot of nice aircraft, a lot of nice modifications. I don't really know much about the tanks. I do have an original photo actually taken of the. It was the Sentinel with the two 25-pounder howitzers in the turret. I've got an original photo of that back in my place in the UK. They had some pretty cool designs, even though they looked a bit funny. Yeah, I really liked them. I'd love to see more aircraft as well, and their designations and the sort of the different stuff they had. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, if a vehicle can be added to the game that either fills the gap or would offer a unique playstyle, let's do it. Let's get it in. I mean, as long as it has purpose, then why not? You know. Okay, thanks. So, do you normally only bring a couple of planes or tanks into battles? It depends on you. It depends on what you feel like you can get the most done with. Some people are less confident as pilots. Some people are less confident in tanks. Like I know some people who know the most. Don't want to say, don't want to be mean, but the most incredibly easy aircraft to play in tank battles, and just take out a couple of tanks. Like go to a cut point, get a couple of kills, go into the plane, and go to town. So it depends on you, really. There's no way to say, take out one plane or two planes or three planes. There's it depends on the lineup, what BR you're playing at, and it depends on you. If you feel like you can do a lot of work in planes, by all means, take out a couple more. If not, mainly go for tanks. But I'd say majoritarily go with tanks because their tanks can win the match. On the ground, aircraft can't. They obviously have a big impact if they're played well. Like they can have an incredible impact if they're played well. If you have air superiority and you're playing with a group, like a couple of planes in the air can win the match for you. But you need to cap the points. You need to have map control to a certain degree, and tanks can definitely do that a bit better. So it depends on you. There's no objective right or wrong answer. Just play around with the experiment, and see what fits you best. Is really all I can say for now. I'm going to breathe for a bit now, because I'm not really very good at breathing. Because there's something I mentioned in the Enlisted stream. I can only manually breathe. Sometimes I can breathe automatically, like without. You know how you mean, like that meme of you're now manually breathing. I always do that. So I can't stagger my breaths properly. So it means I will talk for a very long time without noticing I haven't breathed in. So it can get very tiring and exhausting to exist with. But I mean, yep, I need to remember sometimes. Otherwise, I will just my vision will go blurry. Very bad. Yes. I'll have a breathing break. Sound like a disabled. Thoughts on Romanian aircraft? Again, pretty cool. We only have the IAR 81, I think, right now. Not the best plane in the world. It has had some great moments when I've been playing it. I had a really nice dogfight. It was a 3v1 in the IAR against a Corsair and two Spitfires, and I won it. And it was great. I can't really describe. I mean, it's one of those things you have to look at and think, "Oh, that was cool," rather than just me describe it. But yeah, nice plane. Guys, what is Oxy's username? You can't find out the hours by searching my username on the player base index, because that was created after the hours were tracked. I was playing the game before that was a function, so it doesn't count, I'm afraid. It's more, it won't even give you a good baseline because it counts active seconds, the time that I'm going from. Sorry. I think a lot of people so far have tried to do it that way, but it's not quite accurate, I'm afraid. Sup, honey? Sup, back to you, Chief. Hope you're having a radical day. You would have a minimum hours, but that also counts the where it doesn't. It gives you a different time statistic the statistic I'm going off for the guess goes on active seconds in the game. That doesn't give you active seconds. So it would be not like the worst baseline, but it would not even be close. You could not guess from it. So I mean, by all means try, but it's not the way to go, I'm afraid. Yo, Tome, nice to see you. How are you today? Hello, Paige O. I'm doing just fine. I hope you're doing just fine as well. And how do you know how many hours you have? Because there's a internal tool to check. The public tool doesn't give you the full amount, but the internal one does, and I can check that. So that's how I know. 7 years of Warthon, you never turned it off. Yes, I mean, can't remember how long I've been playing this game. Since pretty much the beginning. I mean, I can't play as much as I used to now because I mean, full-time job, etc. I need to do other stuff in the evenings, but I still play it pretty much every day. Yeah, very, very long playtime. How do I play the Italy map? Do you mean Italy? It depends on what you're playing, what vehicle you're playing. Generally speaking, it depends on the layout as well. I play it differently depending on what the cap points are. I may need a bit more information from you. When did it start counting the hours? It always counted the hours, but the public tool for looking at hours didn't exist from the start, from what I remember. So that's the one that's a bit out of whack. But the initial tool did count from the start, from what I remember anyway. So, what is the secret to your hair? Nothing. I don't do anything with it. This is just what it's like. I wake up like this, and here it is. I will get a haircut when it's possible, but right now I can't because you need a sort of corona sort of check thing saying you're not ill to do it, and I can't get one of those right now, so I'm sort of stuck with having quite long hair, which is fine. I don't mind it though. I mean, it sort of gets in the way a bit, but you know, it upsets people that have long hair sometimes. It's just very fun. So it's sort of serving a passive purpose in that sense. So, are you excited for the devblog season? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't really know what all of them are yet, so that's always nice seeing what the new stuff is. Yeah, pretty looking forward to it. I can't tell you when it's going to start though. Maybe soon. Tome, help! I need to evade anime. How do I evade it? What do you mean? Are you being accosted by anime? Is anime trying to like rob you? What's the gist with this sentence? I will need a bit more information. Do you mean how to stop watching it? I mean, I don't really know what you mean. What do you mean there, Chief? Gibleek? No. Like being anti-anime? Just don't watch it. Watch something else. Do the washing up. Or make your bed. Or just, don't know, watch Grey's Anatomy or Fargo. I don't know. Just, I mean, don't obsess over 2D girls because it will only bring you sadness. Such a bizarre thing to say, but I mean, yeah. Bad coping mechanism. Go outside. You know, it'll be difficult and maybe scary, but I mean, it'll prepare you for bigger things to come in the future, perhaps. Maybe don't go outside right now, depending on the country, but I mean, you know, just don't watch anime all day. It's bad. How would you sell grinding the China tree to a War Thunder player? I don't know why I'd need to sell it. Why would anyone need to sell it? Just play it if you want it. No one's forcing you to play anything or even play the game, you know? If a player looks at it and thinks, I don't want to play it, and fine. If someone looks at it and says, I want to give it a go, sure. I don't really think it's something that needs to convince people. I mean, you know, I think I picked the American air tree when I first started playing, back when there was only air trees. I just thought, they have cool stuff, I'll give this a go. And then I played the others as well. Don't know. Up to the player, really. Get the CW21? Yeah, I mean, it's a incredibly easy plane to play. If you know what you're doing in aircraft, you need to pretty much actively try to lose while playing that aircraft. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Yeah, certainly, Sunder. It can give you happy chemicals, but in the long run, I don't think it's. It depends on the sort of on the person, I guess. In the sense of not being black and white, but it's certainly not a positive coping mechanism for some people. Other people, sure, maybe it can be a nice injection of happy. But yeah, be careful, as with everything, you know. Do Gaijin coin vehicles go up and down in price? Yes, they do. Depends on the demand. You know, if it's a vehicle that is in the battle trophies that's constantly available, it's probably going to stick around the same price. If it's a limited vehicle for an event, it will steadily go up. For example, that the Pack Puma was once like 30 Gaijin coins. Now it's at like 1,000. So it goes up and down, and depends what what the vehicle is, how it was introduced, etc. F11 Nighthawk soon? No idea. I can't tell you when things are coming, I'm afraid. That is not within my remit of ability. How is your day-night going? My afternoon, well, late afternoon, it's 3:30 right now, is going pretty okay. Got a lot more to do today. Big old work hours, but yeah, not too bad. Got my cup of cha. I think it is cha. Maybe it isn't, I don't know. Tea. So it's not too bad. I'm having a decent time. Tell us something about Russian 10-7 tanks. Now that is an incredibly funny meme. Thank you for this. What does this even say? I can't even read. I can't even read these things. I just got a 7 kill streak with the IS-2. Oh yeah, baby. Very nice. I am proud of you. Do you think the game is ready for the new Gen 4 aircraft that could be coming? It depends on what happens. I mean, if they were introduced right now with no supplementary changes, sure, wouldn't be that great. But it depends on what they're introduced with when they are introduced. I can't really give a blanket answer to that one. Can the chat stop talking about anime now? This is making me sad. Well, it's not really making me sad, but I mean, I can't really contribute very much. I mean, unless it's making you happy, by all means, carry on then. Christ, I need to breathe. I keep forgetting to breathe. It's a nightmare. Absolutely nightmare. Right. I've nearly finished my tea. I'm down to my last cup already. Christ, that was quick. Usually I don't drink as much tea. Maybe I'm dehydrated. How do I please the snail? I don't know. I don't really know if there's an answer to that. The snail is more of an entity rather than something that can really feel. I don't know why I tried to intellectualize that obvious, not sincere statement. Just, I don't know, play the game, have a bit of fun. Done. Did you know in Canada you can't breathe? Maybe. I've never been there, so I can't really comment. Console or PC is better for air battles? I mean, PC, if you have the peripherals, way better. You have way more usability. So probably PC, but on console you can, of course, plug in your mouse and keyboard. Go with that. That's what I don't know why I started doing this. Where did that come from? It's like I'm in the 70s. Bad. The dev season is soon TM or soon TM. It's one of those. Yep. Eric says chicken nuggets. Thank you for that, Eric. Crucial contribution. Any benefit to using a joystick on Air Arcade? Not really. I mean, mouse aim will give you way more usability. You can do some kind of wacky stuff with the joystick, but most of the time, if you want to just sort of play the game regularly, get some wins, get some kills, mouse aim is way better. That's what I go with. Your thoughts on Russia? Or you? If you mean tanks, you can go to my channel, which is Oxy. I did a review of the entire tech tree, every single vehicle, how to use it, if it's worth getting. It's probably about 6 hours long, the series overall. But I mean, if you want to have a look, that's probably how I can summarize my opinion on everything. Give it a look if you want. It would probably be good, maybe. Tom, have you ever played Gacha game? Are they is that the one where you you can pay money to kind of roll for like a character, right? And there's like rarities. Such a good business idea. Like Christ, they were onto something there. You know, I mean, I had one mobile game with it. I can't remember what it was, but I had one because when I joined here, we were sort of looking at game design, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a go because I, coming up with different ideas for stuff in the future. The War Thunder Gacha game, imagine. That's not happening, by the way. So I did play one for a bit. I can't remember the name of it. It was okay, I guess. But I'm not really super hyped about those. Do you play War Thunder? Yes. Try to make addendum for planes. I will make a plane guide in the future, but I need to dedicate hundreds more hours to it. I mean, I used to play... I have like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours playing aircraft, but I haven't played them enough recently to be able to really like give as good as an opinion as I want on them. I could give you a pretty good idea on how to play aircraft, but I want to know more. Effectively, I want to play it a bit more. So yeah, at one point, but probably not in the future. Well, very soon, maybe. Thoughts on Boris Johnson? Don't know. He's knocking about, I suppose. One night he had steak and oven chips, and they were very good. And I don't really know much else. Is World of Tanks your worst enemy? Not really. It's just a subpar game. No, not really. I quite like World of Tanks, what it is. The way I look at it is that in the grand scheme of things, it's really hard to fairly compare World of Tanks to War Thunder. Like, I mean, meme about it all you like, War Thunder is a sort of a more realistic experience in that the vehicles behave in universe as they did to a fair degree in terms of gameplay. With World of Tanks, if you reskinned it and you stripped the World War II tank models off of the game and replaced them with, I don't know, like fake sci-fi tanks, or removed the historical maps, or the historical-ish maps, made them, futuristic or whatever, and stripped the skins off of everything, the UI, and just remade it, but kept the entire flow of the game, it would play in an almost identical way. So they are different in that sense, in that World of Tanks is its own game, but with a World War II tank skin on top of it. War Thunder is a sort of a more kind of true combat game in that sense. So although they share visual thematics, in terms of actually playing them, they are very, very dissimilar as experiences. Obviously, some skills translate over, but overall, they are very different. And that's sort of how I look at it. What other games do you play apart from War Thunder? I play... I think I answered this before. I like to play sort of more narrative-y games. That's super pretentious. But I don't know, I like games with a story. I like experiencing stuff in the sort of medium of games like that. Like a Mori, which I played recently, I thought was very, very good. I know a lot of people hated it because of the development cycle, and like the game developed, like the main director of the game was a bit weird about it or something, but I knew nothing about that. I really like that game. If you sort of like a bit more of like an emotional ride, go for that game. Very, very good. I recommend it. If you like sort of Earthbound and those kind of things, it's got some very nice elements. I like that game a lot. Been playing a lot of Enlisted, making sure I know how that works to a reasonable degree. What else do I play? Not really a lot right now. Just whenever. Yeah, I don't know. I play stuff in waves, really. I'm not playing much else. I played Control again recently. Control was great. Really like Control. Gameplay and story was a bit meh, but the world setting, like the actual universe of that game's really, really good. Such a good kind of aesthetic for me. I really like that. Yeah, those games, I guess, recently. Uh, what's your favorite movie? Um, hmm, I'm not sure. I liked Birdman a lot. Birdman is great. It's just, I mean, I love seeing people do weird stuff in movies. Uh, yeah, maybe Birdman. I'm not sure. It's like super pretentious as a movie. Like it's not for everyone. It will just bore the swear word off of you. But I mean, I liked it. Yep. I didn't know you made content, but as a new player, I really wanted to find some content that shows something like best at each BR lineups for each nation. That would be a decent experience. Uh, maybe there's a good line. You could stop. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially the cornerstone of the videos I make. I like to make videos that help new players, I guess, and that was the gist. So, I mean, if that's the kind of content you like, hopefully the videos that I make can sort of help with that. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. I mean, they're really long. They're really long videos, but I mean, if you're really bored and want to watch it, go for it. I mean, that's what I try for them to make them be anyway. So yeah, hopefully it works. What's your favorite food? I don't really eat very much. I don't really like food. Well, I don't dislike it. There's a really good line from the book I've been reading recently. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I can't remember how the line goes, but it's something along the lines of I like food that's cheap and easy to prepare and will give me the right amount of nutrients to keep existing. So anything incredibly easy like that. So a bit of toast, some steamed vegetables, I'm done. I don't really need anything extravagant. I just sort of eat when I need to and go from there. Just sort of, I don't know, I've never been super hyped about it. Excuse me. Why do you look like Michael Jackson? I don't. I just am quite pale and have long hair. And I mean, you can make that conclusion if you want, but I mean, I look nothing like him, so I can't even really be offended by it. Yeah. If I had my hair cut, it'd probably be a different story, but you know. Hello, City Plays. Hope you're having an average or perhaps even good day. That would be nice. Beans on toast. I've never had baked beans. I never liked the sort of sauce they came in, so I just thought not for me. So I just sort of kept it as is. Never really had any beans. Not a fan. Not a fan. Bit of toast though. Lovely stuff. Lovely jubbly. Maintenance, but people say that I look like a lot of people. You know, I remember, within the same day, I went to London and someone on the other end of the carriage yelled, "Are you that bloke from The Cure?" I thought, no, I'm not that bloke from The Cure. But I just had long hair. And on the way back, someone quite drunkenly said, "Is that Bjork?" And I said, "No, I'm not Bjork." And quite a deep voice back. He was, I think I just shattered his world. So, don't know. That's a good thing about having long hair. You sort of look like vague people, which is quite funny. Also, it annoys people, which is also funny. So, I mean, doubling up. Very nice. Christ, I can't even read. Fun fact, Oxy is like Tome, but IDK if he's the same guy or not. Maybe. I mean, I could be different people, like Batman or the other one with the hair. Superman. I don't know why that took me so long to sort of work out, but I mean, there he is. What's your favorite song? That is a question I can't answer. I like so many songs. Bloody hell. I don't know. There are so many songs that if I'm in a particular mood, it's like that's the best song ever right now. I think my favorite song for a really long time was, and I guess it kind of got me into the music I like, was my mum she gave me a first iPod and she had this album on it called On Avery Island, and it was by Neutral Milk Hotel, and it was like this, I think it came out in like 1996 or whatever, and there was this song on it called Avery Island / April 1st, and it's this instrumental, like kind of sad, not really sad, but kind of like like honest melancholy. This like trumpet song, and that in my head is like the soundtrack to years of my life, like going to kind of dusty seaside towns and sitting in like a kind of 2 out of 10 cafe, eating soggy chips out of like a plastic tray and looking out onto the sea, and it was all grey and just kind of average. And that song kind of reminds me so much about that period of my life. I think nostalgia is a very sort of powerful thing for people, and so that song sort of means a lot. And it's probably not my favorite song, but I like that song a lot just because of it. It's in my head a lot. It's quite a sort of boring song in the grand scheme of things, but I remember it. I really like it. Maybe not my favorite now, but I mean, it's nice. It's a nice sort of cross section of my growing up. Bloody hell, mate, bro! These crisps ain't scrummy enough. I know they're certainly not. They're Lays here, not Walkers anymore. Bloody hell, how can I deal with that? I don't really eat crisps anymore because they're really bad for your teeth. So I like those. God, they're like they're like health crisps. They're not really. It's such a stupid name, but they are. They're like those full of fibre and stuff. They're quite nice. But I do like a bit of crisp. Love a bit of crisp in evening. Lovely jubbly. Who is Bjork? Yeah, just some woman who yelled a lot and did that video about talking about her TV. Brilliant. Jubbly. Well, got to go see you. See you, dude. Or dudette. I don't know where you are. But hope you have a nice day. Enjoy. Is there a reason people drop bombs that don't explode when they hit? They just sit on the ground for like 10 seconds. That is fuse delay. When you take out an aircraft, in arcade, it's set by default. You can choose when your bombs will blow up when they hit the ground. Assault fuse, I think, is at 1.5 seconds after leaving the aircraft. You can set it up to 10 seconds. So 10 seconds after the bomb hits the ground, it'll blow up. And effectively, this is just so if you're a slow plane and you drop your bombs, you have enough time to fly off without the bomb exploding and damaging you. It's something you can set manually in the spawn screen. So that's what that is. It depends. In RB, you can set it to no delay or up to 10 seconds. So yeah, that's what that be. Hello, Majestic Jay-Z. Hope you are having a lovely day too. That is very nice. I run home from school every Monday to catch your stream. Daniel, that's very sweet. I'm glad you come home to have a listen or have a watch. That's very, very nice. Hope school went well too. Why don't they just go off when they hit? What do you mean? I think I just explained a bit. It's like an internal fuse. The bomb knows where it is. I'm not going to finish that. When the bomb hits the ground, the fuse starts, and when it reaches the time that you specify when you spawn, it will blow up. And it sort of goes from that. This is the tea. Just wanted to let you know that I like your YouTube video. Oh, thank you. Really glad you like it. Hope we'll have more soon. That's really, really nice of you to say. Thank you. I will try to have a bit more content up when I can. Hopefully. Yes, so yeah, sorry. In arcade, they have a fuse you can't stop. They have a set fuse. I can't remember how long it is. It used to be 10 seconds. I don't know if it still is 10 seconds or if it's been lowered now. So maybe someone knows. I haven't played arcade for a very long time. Breathe. Yes, so in arcade, it always has a fuse. So yeah, that is what we doing in there. Can we expect a teaser for the update soon? I don't know. Maybe there'll be one. I can't really comment on that. Do you have OF? I do not know what this means. What is this? Does that mean something bad that I've just acknowledged? Is it like... I'm not finishing that thought. What do you mean? Hopefully it's not sinister. Who are you? Sometimes even I don't know. I'm not sure I can help you with that. OF40? Yes, I do have that. I quite like it. Very nice tank. No, I don't have an OnlyFans. I mean, that's what my brain woke up and it's like, obviously that's what it means. Obviously that's what it means. And then I was like, well, fine, I'll say it anyway. I did, because that's the kind of renegade I am. No, I don't. Imagine how disastrous that would be. Like, for my sort of being here. No, I don't know what I'd do for it anyway. I mean, I don't really like being looked at the best of times. Not even in that. I'm not going to finish this train of thought. No, I don't have one. Sorry. Are you a wizard? Nope. Are you working for War Thunder? Yes. I work for Gaijin in the German Gaijin office. I do lots of different things. Help in different ways. It's a pretty uchi, pretty nice time. I'm enjoying my existence here. Make an OnlyFans and make it ramming tanks? Maybe not. How sus are you, Oxy? I don't know how to quantify being sus. What would you garner as extremely sus in the sort of baseline of sus in susness? I need a kind of a foundation for this particular thought here. Hello from Germany. Hello also from Germany, Mika. I am in. I'm not going to say the name of where I'm living right now because I always say it deliberately wrong, and it annoys German people, and I don't want to annoy you. So yes. Do you plan on working on for War Thunder until you retire? I don't know. It depends on how I feel and how things go. Maybe I will get a reason to go back to the UK. Maybe I'll get a reason to stay here. We'll see how it goes. I'm not particularly sure. Anything you enjoy about living in Germany? I haven't really experienced Germany enough to really answer that, I think. I've been here basically fully through the lockdown, and it's just sort of been either going to the office or going home, and that's it. It's pretty much exactly the same, it's just in a different place. So I'm not sure yet. It's just sort of the same. You such a sussy backer. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Uh, can I have .1 silver lion? Sure. I mean, I can't give it to you. Well, I can give it to you technically, but I probably shouldn't do that. That'd be a bit weird. Oxy OnlyFans. Well, we just finished the OnlyFans discussion. I would be really boring if I had one because I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know why I keep indulging this thought because it's only going to get worse. Yep. Let's talk about something else now. Maybe that could be cool. What a radical concept that would be. Give devlog, please. I mean, I could sort of approach them with a log, but I mean, it would sort of need to be compact enough to carry, and I'd need to know where to source that. So I could certainly try if that's something you want me to do, but it would probably take a while to sort of, locate the log in question. I could give it a go. I mean, there are sort of a lot of trees about. I could sort of have my hand at cutting one down, go from there. Are you bored of this yet? I certainly am. Are we going to see new jets in the new update? Maybe. I don't know. It's certainly possible. When are we have another crafting even? Don't know. At some point. I'm not sure about when exactly, but whenever. Birchwood or oak? Now, I actually have a phobia of birchwood. I don't know why. Now, this will sound really stupid, but I can't breathe if I'm playing, in Minecraft. Like, I haven't played it for a really long time properly. They have like birch forests. If I go to a birch forest in Minecraft, I can't breathe. I panic. I get really, really weird. It makes me super uncomfortable. There's something about either the look or texture of birchwood that makes me really uncomfortable. And so I can't really be around it. It's like touching it is okay. Like if I have like, cause I used to work a bit on the golf course my dad worked at, works out still. And if you can sort of touch the trees, it doesn't freak me out. But if I'm surrounded by a lot of them, it really bothers me, and I don't know why. I have no idea why that is. I've tried asking like people like where does this come from? Maybe it's like a warning pattern, maybe with like the white and black kind of stripes. I'm not sure. If anyone actually knows where that would come from, I'd actually be really interested to hear. But yeah, I have a phobia of birchwood. So there you go. Naked. Oh, okay. I'm allergic to birch pollen. That sucks, dude. Or dudette. I don't know. Or dude's universal. It's fine. I think I don't really have many allergies like that. I mean, I'll have a bit of a sneeze if I'm near pollen for too long, but generally I'm okay. How to take best advantage of stab in mid-tier Brits? Do you mean like the 7-3, like the sense and stuff? I mean, the stab only really comes into play when you're making aggressive maneuvers. So playing like that is probably the way to go. You like catching enemies on the move, especially enemies that don't have stabilizers. Like you're going to get the first accurate shot off every time. That's such a big advantage. So playing aggressively, being the one to approach an enemy. There's a nice meme for you there. Being the one to actually approach enemies is peak. So you need to sort of put yourself in in a position where you can make use of that. If you're staying still and an enemy's driving up to you, then there's not a lot you're really getting out of it. But if you approach an enemy when they're like at full speed, it's going to take a while for them to level off the gun. If you're at full speed, no problem. So the sense are very versatile like that. Obviously, you shouldn't play just to make use of the stabilizer. Playing defensive hold down or in any situation like that is still quite good. But it can work quite well in those environments using the stabilizer. So yeah, it depends. It depends on you, like how you're playing, but utilizing it in that particular environment is pretty good. That's certainly how I have the most advantage, or get the most out of it, I should say. Oh, someone commented on my birch phobia. Is the phobia of wood LMAO? And it says the cause can be attributed to an emotional trauma or bad experience with trees. I don't recall ever having a bad experience with trees. Maybe I have. Don't know. It could be something like that, but it's only birch trees. Everything else perfectly fine. I quite like trees apart from that, but birch in general is the only one that makes me go a bit weird. So curious. Hey, from Russia, will there be Katusha in War Thunder? There already is. The BM13 Katusha truck is already there. It's on the market. It was available in an event a while ago. Yeah, it is here. You can get it if you want. Opinions on the BF109 G10? Very good plane. I like it a lot. It's not my favorite 109. The K4 is like peak. F4, K4, G2. Those are probably my favorites. K10 is not really on the highest on my tier list, I guess, of 109s. But it's a really good plane. I like it a lot. I like all the 109s really. Yep, I think it's pretty good. Wouldn't say it's the best. Wouldn't say it's the worst by any means. It's just a pretty good plane. I haven't played it in a long time really. I've played a lot with the K4 and the G2 recently, but yeah, G10 pretty good still. I like it. Why are you ignoring questions regarding submarines? Because every stream someone asks me and I give them the same answer. So, you can go back and answer it. Well, read it if you want. Or you can keep asking the same question. The answer is going to be the same. Cat says hi. Is that someone called Cat or your cat? In any case, hello. I hope you're having a cat day. I don't know. Days for cats are mostly the same, I would have thought. So, yeah. Give your cat a little pat on the head, maybe. Don't know. Do you like the Swedish tech tree? Yes, I do. They offer some pretty unique playstyles, especially with the tanks. You can utilize more areas of the map. They are pretty good. I like them a lot. A lot of them are pretty unique for what they do, and especially in the early tiers. Yeah, pretty good tech tree. I like it a lot. Worth playing, definitely. Um, who are you? I don't know really most of the time. I don't really notice. That's my answer to you. Uh, how's the mam and the two kittens? Doing fine, I think. Little catters are doing pretty great. I would have thought. Um, yep, I'm not really sure. What else to add? They're both sort of doing okay, I suppose. An answer I haven't heard, otherwise I wouldn't have asked. Well, maybe you should pay more attention, my good friend. Go on, challenge me. Give me your best. No, I mean, it's an answer it takes a while to kind of explain, and I mean, I don't like sort of giving the same answer for every single stream. It kind of gets a bit boring for everyone else. Um, so I mean, you can have a bit of a shout at me if you like. You know, if I am your vessel to, direct your anger towards, so be it. I mean, I'm sort of, bounce off me like rain off a waterproof poncho. Put that on a T-tail chief, and go for it. I mean, if it helps you, great. Can't really bother me. Sorry. Sea bass or salmon? Do you mean in terms of eating it? I do really like salmon. Jacob's salt and pepper crackers, bit of salmon, lovely stuff. That was my sort of posh treat. If I'd ever sort of done lots of work in the UK, I'd buy that and put it together. It's a really nice little bit of foodage. I'm a fan of that. Do you rather have a KV1 or KV2? Depends what I'm going for. If it's just to sort of play the game to have like a great lineup, KV1's super versatile heavy tanks. Yeah. KV2 is still pretty fun. Bit of a meme, like it's not the most meta vehicle. They have their own sort of place in the game, but probably KV1. Oh, Vanity, it is not my job to answer, I'm afraid. But I mean, I will ask you something here. I mean, I don't need to offer you this time. Are you okay? Because your anger directed towards me is out of place. And if something is going on right now, I mean, by all means, you have a bit of a vent about it. I mean, if I annoy you or whatever, sure. But I mean, if there's something genuinely going on for you right now, if you're jaded by the game and you want to hurt the game by proxy through me, I mean, that can be what we're using this time for right now. But if you're genuinely not okay, why? What's up? Because that's not a normal response to have to another person. So what's up? I can I'm more than willing to have a few minutes here to ask you what's up. If not, sure, you can keep going how you're going. But are you okay? I will leave you with that for now. T-Rex, or I can't even pronounce that. I'm not really super. I don't know too much about dinosaurs. I pretty much, I don't know, I like the sort of prehistoric fish. Those are my favorite. Like Leadsichthys, massive old fish, great. And the weird stuff like the what are they called? I can never remember the name, but they're like squids with like massive cones on the back. Can't remember the name, but they're very, very nice, very cool. Very long. Can you raid World of Tanks from the stream ends? Maybe. I could certainly give it a go, but I don't know if I'd be allowed to do that. That would be quite funny though. I probably won't be doing that though. Do you like this plane? I don't know what it is. I don't really have the ability to look it up right now. Maybe if you can remind me in the future, I will certainly give it a go. That's quite a particularly curious name. Yeah, I'm not sure. Orthocone, that's it. Yes, my man Citrus has got it down. Yes, Orthocone, really cool. I'm so boring, aren't I? Hey, I'm new at War Thunder. Who are you? My name is, well, I'm OXY, Oxy. I have a channel on YouTube. You can go there if you want, although you don't have to. I make really long, quite boring videos about tanks, covering every tank in the tech tree, talking about it, and that's mostly what I'm doing right now. Yeah, you don't need to watch it if you don't want to, but That's what I do. That's who I am, and I also work for Gaijin as well. I do lots of different things over here. So yep, pretty snazzy. Um, very good vibes to listen to while falling asleep. I'm glad. I'm glad you think so. That's sort of a big plus, I think. But what if we kissed? What if we kissed? I don't know. What would happen? I cannot surmise, I'm afraid. I'm also boring. Great. We can be boring together. I wonder if it doubles up. Would two boring people create one interesting person? Or would you become sort of doubly boring? I'm not sure. Maybe we should test this. um, uh, advice for stop grinding the M1A1 Abrams. Well, it's going to be quite tedious. I'd probably go for the dart straight away, so you have like way more usability in what you fight. Alternatively, if you just want to relax for a bit, play Tank Assault. It's not you're not going to get the most um like the speedy progression, but the best way about it is you can sort of listen to a podcast, watch a movie, and just play Tank Assault. If you've got a good team, you can get some pretty steady results. Um, Maybe go with that. Try and go for like parts and the first dart round, and then kind of go from there. But alternatively, you can just sort of play quite passively. Go for tracks, spray down tracks for the assist. That kind of thing. Do things that can kind of net you easy RP. That's probably what I'd go for. But it depends on you. If playing Tank Assault is like super boring for you, excuse me, sure, go for just playing the game. But it's all about making sure the initial modules you get are going to actually impact your gameplay. So that's what I get with. That is what I go with if I were you. Sus, yes, the funniest three letters in the English language. Equal Anderson, please. I can't say that out loud. I'd want to punch myself in the face, and I usually do anyway. So, I mean, that's not going to happen. I can't say that. Um, do you involve yourself in the shooting range videos? Nope, that's done by another team. Maybe it'd be nice if I were to work on that, but it's not really quite my area right now. Can tank overheat if radiator get damage? No, I mean this. I think this used to be a well, it didn't used to be. I think it maybe used to be planned as a feature because that's why the radiator module is in the game. Maybe it was down to that. I'm not sure. I think also at one point in development they were playing with the idea of having an RPM limiter for every tank as a module, so that you could move faster, but it would damage your engine, especially if the radiator wasn't very good. But I think that was scrapped at some point. So I think it does. The radiator does nothing right now apart from create like internal like spool dampening. So it doesn't have much of a use. But yeah, I think maybe it used to have a like a planned function other than what it is right now. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make your tank overheat if it's damaged. So yeah. What are your opinions on the HS129? Really good. You can have some absolutely fantastic moments in that thing. It's if you're fighting a good enemy in a fighter, there's pretty much nothing you can do. But if you're fighting a bad enemy in a fighter, you can outturn some stuff in the duck, especially with the 30mm version. I really like the ducks. I've got a lot of playtime in them. I like both of them with the 75 and the 30. They're not very good platforms. They take a lot of damage. They get heaps of drag. So they're not the best in terms of like maneuvering. If you get shot a bit, you are going to cripple into the ground before too long. But I really like them. They're well worth using. They have a lot of usability if you can equip the right the belts and stuff. Can we go on an e-date? I don't know what that is. Maybe if it's a nice thing to do. Don't know why I'm agreeing to that. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, I don't even know if I should have acknowledged that. Do you like the Japanese tech tree? Which one, tanks or planes? Yes, I like both. They're both pretty cool. Obviously, they have their areas where they're not very good, but I think pretty much every tree has that. They have an area where they're not really that strong. But yeah, Uh, some great aircraft, some great tanks, some poor aircraft, some poor tanks. Same with everything, really. But overall, I mean, I like every tree, really. There's no tree that I think is the worst thing in the world. I think generalizing a tree to the point where, it's objectively awful, I don't really, comment on it. It's not really for me to say, really. Um, why do you look so tired? That's literally just my face. This is how I look all the time. I mean, I'm looking at a screen that has a pretty heavy blue light on it. So I think maybe my eyes are a bit sort of, don't know, droopy. But I mean, when you look at screens all day without, I mean, I don't have any glasses right now because mine broke, my screen glasses. So I probably just sort of look like I'm tired, but I'm not tired. I'm quite awake. I've had lots of coffee and tea today, so you know, it's just how I look, I'm afraid. Um, let's raid World of Tanks. If I can get the green light to do that one day, I definitely will do it. But I don't think I'm allowed right now. Maybe we'll see. Um, that could be quite fun. Um, Moscow map, maybe. Certainly suggest it if it's something that you think would be cool. Maybe with the assets we have for enlisted right now, it could be something to go for. That could be pretty fun. I don't know though. Maybe, maybe could be nice. Uh, um, are British tanks trash? No, I think there's an absolute tiny amount of tanks that I would say are trash. Some like that are sort of borderline unusable. The British tanks in general are really usable, but they're just not as forgiving to use in many areas when compared to a lot of the other vehicles. Like no APHE, inconsistent armor. They're not vehicles that overall are super easy to use if you're a newer player. So I don't think they're trash. I don't think they're probably the best thing to start out with. You need to sort of approach how you combat enemies in a different way. But yeah, I like them. They've got some really good vehicles, and I mean, one shotting with a 17 pounder, Christ, that's satisfying. I mean, not the best. I guess it's not going to be the most functional or easy to use vehicles in the game, but yeah, I like them. I really like them. Big fan. Maybe not the biggest fan. Can your elbows touch your belly button? Let me test it. Yeah, they can. Why? What does this mean? Um, I don't know why I tested that, but at least now I know. Someone asks me. Does that mean my arms bend weird or something? Do you like the 3-inch gun carrier? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but it's again, it's a lineup vehicle. If you play it in the good, like in a good lineup with a good sort of in an up tier ratio, and you angle it, if you angle that thing, you can bounce the German 75, the short one anyway, or the shorter one of the Panzer IVs. That thing can be deceptively nasty at 3.0. It's not going to work all the time. In some maps and some BRs, it's going to have very, very little use. But if you can kind of get that thing nailed down, like with angling, it can be really, really fun. Really fun. Yeah, not the best vehicle in the world by far, but pretty good. I like it. It's definitely got use. Is that Emile, Emily? Are you my friend? Yes, we can be friends as loosely as we can be friends, I guess, without knowing each other. But sure, we're friends now. Sorry, stuck with that label forever. Uh, why does Germany suffers at 6-7 so much? Now that is a bold sentence to make. Where does this come from? Can you let me know why you think this? And I will do my best to try and justify this comment. Yay, yay. I'm glad you have yayed. That's always very nice. I'm going to have another bit of tea. My last bit of tea. There's not really much in here now. Ow. Why do I keep doing that? I don't usually do that. What's this about? I'll have to dwell on this. Curious. What do you think about research of helicopters? Right now, I agree it's pretty slow. But I think when the helicopter PvE event, or not event, but sort of game mode comes out, when that's actually finalized by the team, it will hopefully be a lot better. As right now, sure, it's doable once you get some good helis, but it's very, very slow. Excuse me. Yeah, when that sort of mode comes out and it's polished, finalized, and able to be played, that's hopefully it's gonna be like way more way easier, I'd say. As right now, I agree, it's pretty slow. You're gonna need a premium to sort of get any sort of reasonable use out of it. So yeah, I'd say wait for that to come out, and hopefully going from there, much better. We'll see. What do you guys do when you're not streaming? Do you have jobs? Yeah, I work for Gaijin Entertainment full time, doing multiple things. Um, you know, well, I can't really tell you all the things I do. It's a sort of lots of different stuff at the moment, but I'm a sort of so I form the I don't know many small cogs in a very big machine. I do lots of different things that on their own probably aren't that useful, but I mean it keeps things ticking here and there, so pretty fun. I'm enjoying it anyway. I have a good time. Right. Does penetration matter on a squash head round? Yeah, the base penetration does. You can only the penetration value it gives you is the armor it can have an effect on. So if you hit armor like bigger than that value, it cannot form enough of a shockwave to break off a scab inside the armor. So it does have an effect, but it's it doesn't really have well, it doesn't really have as much of a impact as it would on other rounds, I guess. But yeah, it does have an impact. Oxy, do you like the Stalin cart? What do you mean by that? Which vehicle is this? Could be many vehicles in my head. ASU? I'm not sure. What do you think? What do you need to become a content partner of Gaijin? For YouTube, you need to make at least 4 videos a month that have at least 1,000 views on the Meech, or stream a good amount of hours every month and have an average of 20 or more concurrent viewers. And then you can be accepted and get some stuff, which is pretty cool. ASU 57, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the ASU. It's not, it doesn't work on every map, every BR, but it is. I like it. It's definitely usable in some instances, and you can have some funny moments with it. So I like it. I certainly like it. Um, I keep doing this. Very strange. This great. Thanks, Daniel. That's brilliant. Leo 2A7 Plus in game? Not right now, I would say. Probably not until there's a very valid counterpart to that. Excuse me. Tome Germany at 6.7 suffers because of heat at 6.7. I don't know if it really suffers because of that. I mean, there are so many more factors involved. Obviously, heat exists, and it's going to negate the armor of a lot of your heavy tanks. But I mean, you've got light tanks to play around. You've got the Bulldog, great vehicle to have in your lineup over there. That thing works really well in up tiers. And I mean, if you're playing heavy tanks against vehicles will negate their armor, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage on the offset. So having light vehicles and vehicles that work in up tiers is super important. Germany could probably be supplemented with a few more vehicles that work like that. But I don't think Germany really suffers in that sense. It's one of those kind of lazy memes, but there's vehicles that don't work in up tiers, and that's really it. People are used to their vehicles working a certain way, and around 6.7 it kind of flips, and suddenly those vehicles don't work in the same way anymore. Yeah, I mean, there's way more to go into that, but I don't know if I have too much time to talk about just Germany right now. But yeah, go for the Bulldog or the RU if you want a premium, and they will see you through the up tiers. They would work very, very well. Daniel, my YouTube, it's OXY. You can look it up if you want. Can you do a backflip? Probably not. I've never tried. I don't really want to try. You look like my ex-GF. Apparently I look like my friend's mum as well, so that's brilliant. My ratio right now is incredible. I won, yep. When will the stream end? Probably about 10 minutes or 11 minutes. I usually do these for about 2 hours. Otherwise, I'll just sort of run out of energy and collapse on the floor. My voice gives up after a while. You can probably tell it's doing that now. It just sort of goes, I don't know, it does that exactly. That sort of noise of defeat. Yeah, otherwise I just sort of stop being able to talk and die. Hot tub stream? I mean, maybe one day is like the apex meme, but I don't know if that would even be legal on Twitch. Hot tub. Oh dear. Maybe, I don't know. Someone Pepsi or Coke? Pepsi or Coke? Coke, I guess. I don't really drink them very much. Coke sort of, I don't know, gives you that. I don't know, it has more to offer over Pepsi. I think Pepsi has more sort of subgenres I'm a fan of, but overall Coke has sort of got a lot going for it. I don't know. It's more spicier. Spicy Coke. Yep. What a sentence that is. Bloody hell. Oh, I want to leave Twitch chat right now. Hell yeah, dude. That's how it is. That do be kind of how it be. Show your muscles. I have basically no muscles. My arms are actually tiny. Like I don't know. I'm quite weirdly proportioned. Like I've got tiny arms. Like if I take my little finger and my thumb, it goes all around my wrist. Although I have really small hands, so I mean, I guess that's sort of part and parcel. Don't know. Welcome to the War Thunder official stream, where I just sort of go on about how my arms are small. Are you enjoying yourself? I certainly hope so. Sometimes I like to imagine that I don't exist. I don't mean that. That's a bit of a harsh meme on myself. What is your favorite plane? I don't know. Probably Tempest Mark V. I really like the Tempest Mark V. Quintessentially, it was a quintessential late British design, gorgeous plane, really powerful, decent hybrid. It does what it does well. I really like the Tempest Mark V. Quit War Thunder a few months ago. How to start again, and is it worth it? Well, I can't tell you it's worth it. It's down to you, you know. I mean, for example, like what I enjoy about the game, you might not enjoy about the game. Like, for example, I like spading stuff. I like going through getting camos. You, for example, might like getting the top, like, you know, going through all the way through the tree and getting the top tier vehicle at the end of the line. Like maybe that's your goal. I can sort of enjoy this game because there's so much to do for me, like unlocking camos, unlocking decals, spading stuff. I like that about the game, and as long as there's stuff like that to do, I will keep playing it and keep having a decent time. That might not be the case for you. So I can't really give you an answer. Obviously, I think you should, you know, I love the game. I've always loved the game. I think you should, you know, if you stop playing, give it another go. If you like it, keep with it. If you don't, stop. You know, it's not going to break my heart if you never play the game again, you know. It's completely up to you. It depends what you want out of the experience. So, yeah, that's really all I can say, to be fair to what I think. When is new Madge? I don't know what this means, I'm afraid. What is the point of the stream? The point of the stream is to be a sort of quiet, chill, minimalist, very pretentious, sort of 2-hour long sort of session where we talk about War Thunder for a bit, or real life, for anything. I mean, if you're having a break from school, break from work, or whatever, and you just want to have a bit of a chat, I mean, if you want to shout at me, go for it. I mean, that's what I'm here for. You just sort of want to have a bit of a break, talk about the game, pretty, I don't know, not exactly a high octane experience, but that's really what it is. Bit of a chat for a while, and that's it. There's no sort of grand point to this stream, I guess. I mean, if you come here for, you know, massive high energy shouting, then I mean, I'm not really the kind of person to facilitate that, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's sort of what this is. If it's kind of your thing, by all means, stick around, have a chat. If not, do something you enjoy more. Again, not going to break my heart. Definitely not. When will vegan come out? No idea. Same with all the other things people keep asking me. I cannot tell you, I'm afraid. Uh, I came back from math. I learned everything I needed. Thank you for helping. I'm really glad. I'm really, really glad, dude. That's brilliant. Keep that up if you can. Like, obviously, I mean, don't push yourself to the extent, the top extent every single day. That can get exhausting. But if you can kind of pinpoint a moment where you think you have the energy to say, let's just, give it 110, learn while there is to learn. Because you always look back on it. I mean, I look back on school and I could identify moments where I chose to like play video games instead of like focus on my work. And I remember the moments where I didn't focus on my work. I don't even remember what game I was playing because it was like, brain happy like time to pass the time. It wasn't doing homework, whatever, didn't make me happy, and playing games did. But I didn't supplement that time well. And looking back on it, the extra work I could have done may have meant something a bit more. Maybe I'd know a bit more, learn a bit more, and I don't know how rivers are made. It's a bad example, but you know what I mean. It's a really good thing to do. Just make maybe even if it's once a week, just pick a moment where you give it 110. It's a really good way to go, I think. Are you the owner of War Thunder? No, I'm very far from the owner. I mean, I don't even own this stream. I suppose I'm sort of the product of the stream. I don't really own it. I'm just sort of here for a bit. Um, M247 or M163? M247 every day, my friend. Radar, better survivability. Radar well, it's already said radar, and excuse me, incredible proxy rounds. That thing is Sergeant York is really, 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 really good. Such a good AA. I'd really go for that. I'd really go for that. Amazing, amazing, amazing NCO. You have 6 million views and only 50k subs. I mean, it's not about the numbers, I mean, I don't know, but that's never bothered me. I mean, it's like it's maybe this sounds like super pretentious or whatever, but it's why I never ask people to subscribe, because then people who, I mean, if what it takes for someone to subscribe to my channel is telling them to subscribe, they're subscribing because I'm asking them. They're not subscribing because they want to see more content, And if they're not, if they're just subscribing for the sake of subscribing, it's just to get the number up, and the number is meaningless if those people aren't interested in what I'm doing. So I never, it's not important to me. It doesn't matter. If someone wants to subscribe, they'll subscribe. I don't need to tell them that. I mean, I can ask if I want more numbers, but I mean, it doesn't achieve anything. It's not really important to me. I want to make videos that help people sort of enjoy the game a bit more. And maybe that sounds like turbo cringe. I mean, I'm feeling that in my head saying it to myself right now, but it doesn't matter. If you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. Fine. It's not going to hurt me at all. It's just up to you. The onus is entirely on you, as it should be. Don't sub just because someone tells you to. If you enjoy the content, go for it. If not, sure. Go bald. People have seen me bald with the filter that we had on, and it was awful. I look like a gay Undertaker. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. That was the first thing that came to my head. I think I ripped that off from the thick of it. It was awful. I've never seen something look worse than that. That was it's incredibly cursed. I don't know, it's like absolutely nightmare. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. So I need to make sure that my hair doesn't fall out. Although it sort of is because I'm not eating enough meat. I'm also going really grey. Going really, really grey actually. You can't see because this cam has like a lot of contrast, so it like hides the grey hairs, but Christ, I'm going grey. Terrible. Absolute disaster. Show the photo. I could try and find it on my phone, but I mean, where is my phone? You don't want to see it. You really don't want to see it. But I will show you if I can find it because it is quite funny. And as we are sort of coming to the end of the stream, obviously I imagine a lot of you probably do not care about this whatsoever, but it is quite funny. It just looks horrible. Let me find it. Scrolling back through. God, how far away is it? Is this it? No, that isn't me. Uh, no, I can't. That is awful. What's gone on there? I mean, it is right. I don't. This is what it looked like. I don't know if you can see it, but I look like that. That is the worst thing I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of things, and that is something I don't want to look at for any longer. Absolute, the worst thing ever. One of the worst things in the world. See, you think you want it. You think you want the funny meme of cutting my hair off. You don't, because that's the result. I want to beat me up. I want to beat me up anyway. All the time when I look at myself, I want to beat myself up. Imagine if I looked like that. What would I have to do to survive? I'd have to, like, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There'd be no point. There would be no point at all doing that. I would just cry. And that would be the end result. Absolute disaster. Yeah. Absolute nightmare. See, you don't want it. You don't want it. You think you want it, but you don't. That can be taken in many ways. Why are you not collapsed yet? Oh, I'm collapsing. My body is screaming at me. It usually does that, but I mean, I can sort of ignore it. That sounds bad. That sounds like I mean something else. I don't. I'm actually doing okay. I'm sort of quite hydrated. Still haven't quite finished my tea, so we can go on for a little bit longer, not too much longer, but a tiny bit. When are you going to stream do a stream like this again? I need to know. I do this once a week, every Monday, same time, 2:30 German time for about 2 hours. And that's really about it. Why did I say that's really about it? Like that's the end of some like massive conclusive statement. Yeah, I do it for 2 hours on Monday at that time, every Monday. You can watch if you want or not. Up to you. Like again, this isn't exactly the most entertaining like section of like cross section of your day, but I mean, it's here if you want to have something to listen to for a while. Yep. Tips on spading the box toes: be passive. Use the cover. Stick with your team. The gun depression now, the extra gun depression is really, really good. So utilizing cover is great. You get no favors from playing at close range. Stick at range. That's really where you want to be. And use those ridge lines because you can really make use of them now. They're really, really good. And that's what I do. Like for a very sort of quick explanation, be passive, stay the back of the map, cover a really wide sight line if you can, and use the gun depression you have because it's so underrated on that thing. It's really usable. Not the best vehicle in the world. It's not exactly versatile to any degree, but I mean, yep, that's probably what I do. Thank you for the stream. It makes waking up for school a lot less crappy. Oh, well, I'm glad. Like, the reason I do this at this time is because I think for some of the you all in the US, it's about sort of morning time. So maybe this is something you can listen to, having your cereal, I don't know, what is an American cereal? What's the one with all the marshmallows in it? The Lucky Charms? Is that what I'm thinking of? With your Lucky Charms and your cup of joe and your pancakes. I don't know what Americans eat. Probably the same as us, really. Pop it on. Maybe something to start your day with. I don't know. But yeah, that's sort of the overall gist, I suppose. I've already I'm with of Veek 40. I kind of answered that. I mean, the Veek is sort of like a boxier Sergeant York. Veek again, really, really good. A bit weaker, not as maneuverable from what I remember. Bit of a lower profile, but still the same thing. Incredible anti-air potential. That thing is really, really good. Well worth using. Really well worth using. Yep. Nearly finished my tea. And then we can sort of, you don't need to look at me anymore for a few days, which, very good, especially the bald version. Absolute nightmare. Oh, that was a big gulp of tea, of nothing else. Oh, Christ. I really made my throat go weird. Oh, bad. Terrible. I don't even know what this means. How to put bush on plane for camo? You can only sort of do it by fluke right now when you're sort of switching um, lineups in a weird way. It can sometimes happen, but it's sort of seldom um, available as a function, really. Not that it's a function anyway, it's sort of a bug, but, Um, excuse me. How does your tea stay warm? I have a thermos here. Don't know why I said it like that. That even annoys me. It keeps it nice and warm. It's getting a bit cold in this cup now, but I mean, it's not too bad. I'm having a decent old time in my cup of chai. Well, there we go. That is pretty much all of the tea I have going on right now. So I probably should end it here. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Yeah, is there any sort of... Can I have your cup? Sure, it's not very interesting. I think it's, what is it from? 21 matches by something in Germany. Sure, you can have it if you want. Not a bunch of, well, not exceptionally interesting in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, sorry, I can't raid World of Tanks right now. I'd love to do that. Maybe at some point we can, but not now, I'm afraid. Yeah. Can you lift your right arm up? Why? I will, but if you give me a decent reason. Maybe there's something weird on my arm. I do have a birthmark on this arm, actually, but I don't think you can see it. I also have a bullet wound, but you can't see that either. It's sort of hidden by my sleeve. Yep. What tea do you drink? On a bit of Yorkshire right now. Bit of Yorkshire. Love this stuff. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's pretty decent. Yorkshire and Yorkshire hard water, very nice. Definitely makes some good stuff for sure. Will you play War Thunder today? Yep. Probably will when I get home. Definitely. You got shot before? Yeah, I got shot by I'm not going to roll up my sleeves. That's a bit weird, but I mean, I got shot by sort of flat point pellet gun. Obviously, it's like an air rifle, so it's barely getting shot at all. To the point where I didn't notice. I didn't notice I was shot until about 5 minutes later when we'd run away. I got shot by a farmer on an abandoned equestrian centre. But yeah, it's literally the least exciting way to get shot in the world. It barely hurt at all. It hurt when I realised, but I think with the adrenaline, I just did not notice at all. So yeah, bit weird, but yep. Can you butt to the mic? No, I can't do that, I'm afraid. That is a bit sinister. That is not in my remit of possibility, I'm afraid. Yep. Well, a potato, that is lazy. Got to do better than that. Got to do better than that, my friend. I can't acknowledge such things. Anyway, before any more madness sort of descends upon the chats, I should probably disappear for the day, I suppose. Well, yeah, I'm not really very good at doing goodbyes, even on streams in terms of real life as well. But in any case, thank you very much for coming here and watching this for a bit. I'm not going to look at the camera, that makes me feel weird. I'll look over here, slightly to the right of the camera. Anyway, I hope you had a nice time. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of brief moments of the day, having a chat. If there are anything I didn't get around to answering, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on at the time, so I can't really answer everything. Next time, I'll do my best to answer everything if I am within my, if it's within my possibility. So, yeah, thank you all very, very much for stopping by, and I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, anything else, and hope you have a great rest of the week as well, and I will see you on Thursday there for the War Thunder stream. So, yep, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.